So that is about circular pattern, and we have one more pattern options, like if you have go for pattern curve, select your curve. This is the curve I want to pattern, and here we have one more option called a general pattern. Like if you want to specify your own points, or if you want to give the coordinates according to the coordinate system, and you can get your pattern in the specific locations which you require. Select curve. Sorry, this is my curve. Go for and points. For points, this is one of my point. This one. There's one more point, and this is one more point. From this point to 2, it will ask you for to which point. This is my other point. See, if you want just move, like how much is the distance between these two, the same will be the distance between these 2 points, so that you can just know the distance, how many from where to where you want. Or if you want to move it to any coordinate system, and you can do that. So this is pattern. Like if you have two references, you don't know the distance between them, and you just want to move it to the this amount of distance. So this is where you do that inferred distance. And you have offset curve. Go for offset. This is my curve. I want to offset, and see, this is the distance and how much of offset you want in this direction. This is the direction. That's why you want minus 70. See, this direction you get an offset. So this is how you use offset function. So these are the different controls that you have, and we don't generally do it. And if you want a symmetric offset, it's like you give it 50 mm. So this is 70 mm and this is 70 mm on both the sides. That is symmetric offset. And number of copies, how many of copies you want 3, want 2. So you can directly do that, like instead of repeating this option, you can instead of repeating this option for too many offsets, you can directly do it. So this is that. Yeah, so this is that offset option. Click OK. So this is the offset you have. Yes, so this is offset, and you have, if you go down, see there are so many options. And next is mirror curve. If you go for mirror, select this is my curve. So this is the curve which you want to mirror, and select center line. If you have a center line, you can select, or you can select any other object. Like what is it, the vertical axis, or is it the coordinate system? I check this axis. See, and I have my object mirrored. So similarly, these are the options available for mirror, and you have intersection point. But for this, let's say if you have any curve going through any plane, then if you want the intersection point, you can select that, which is like if you want to see where this curve intersects the plane, you can get this intersection point. Intersection curve, if there are two planes, you can have this intersection curve to get the 2D curve where it is project curve, and all we will see in the later stages. Project curve is an option where you have a curved surface and you have a sketch, and if you want to project the sketch onto that surface, you can curved or any other surface you want to project this, that is when you use it. Fit curve is like, if you want to have if you have already specific points and you have a line, you want to fit this into that, then you can do that. I'll show you. Let's say I have 2 points, that's it, and I go for fit curve, or I have some curve. Okay, so let's say I have a curve. So this is the curve, and I want to fit this curve between these 2 points. Fit curve, select object. This is my object. Okay, and point constraints. This is my constraints. See, like I can add this constraint, like this is my starting point and I can update it. So my curve will go from here all the way to here. So I already have a curve. I have updated my curve so that the 2 points which I added, they are also in the curve. This is fit point. So this is how these are the few different options to have in a this thing. And add existing curves, like if you have a coplanar, if you have another curves which is another coplanar and all, and if you want to add the curves in your sketch, then you can add that player point sketch in here. We will go through everything detailedly by using examples, but this is first I'm just explaining you what are the options available and how you use it. Okay, so this is it. So these are the options that you have in curve and trim. Let's say I want to go for, I don't want this unnecessary things. I'll go for trim. Here you just need to select that portion of the curve which you want to delete. Want to delete this, delete this. That's it. You don't need to select any intersection curves and all. You just select what is the portion of the curve that you want to delete, and it will get deleted. And let's say this is my another line. So I think let's say by using this, because I got this and I want this closed surface, I don't want this external edges and all. Or if you have multiple lines to be deleted, you can just draw a line crossing them, and it will delete them automatically. It will delete all of them. That's it. See, you get your closed sketch. This is trim. Extend. Assume you have a line and you have one more line, and you want these two to join. This is, you go for extend. Here you have to read these points. Boundary curve, like what is the uh, boundary, like what is to which point, to which line you want to join your curve. First is curve to extend, like what is the curve you want to edit. This is my curve. See, it is automatically joining here, so that's why. Or if you have two more curves and you want to join this, then you can select your boundary curve and this thing. I'll show you that also. Now if you go for quick extend, if you select this, it is asking this like is do you want to go till here or not. Or if I go for boundary, I'll select this, and now I'll select this curve, it will go for this. So like if you go for first, if you don't select your boundary curve, it will just extend to the next possible extension. But if you select your boundary curve, it will go where you want. Yeah, so similarly you have one more curve and you want to extend till here. If you go for extend, if you select your curve, it is only till here. But rather if you select this, see. So that's what you should be careful before doing, selecting your curves and all. So this is select curves, extend, and fillet. Fillet is to give a round, instead of having a sharp edge, it is to give a round edge. You just need to select your two lines and select where you want to paste it, and you have put it. And how do you want to define it? This is like, do you want, this is to trim the edges, and if you don't want to trim the edges, like you want a fillet but you don't want to trim it, I'll go for, you don't need to select any control, click any control, just need to select the two lines. You get the fillet, but the lines are not trimmed. These are the two options available. Okay, so this is it. This is fillet, chamfer. You want to have, if you want to have a sharp, a straight line instead of a round curve, then it is what you have a chamfer, and you have different options. Do you want to have a symmetric chamfer or asymmetric chamfer? Like the both the sides will not be same. So here you can see both the sides are not same. This is 300 and this is 500. This is one thing. Or if you want to have an offset and angle, or if you want to specify the angle, you can specify the angle. See, this angle is 60. So this is it. You get the chamfer, and also you can select if you want to trim or not. This is also one more method. So this is chamfer and make corner. So these are the different options you have. Make corner, and you want to trim any curves, want to move curve, you want to offset curves, scale curves, and all these options. You want to make a corner. Let's say you don't want these extend, you just want to make a corner. So that's it. Or if you want to make extend this till here, and you want this here corner here, you don't want extend thing. So make corner like this line. See, go for make corner, select your lines, and while selecting, select which part of the curve you want. So what the part of curve you select, that will stay, and other part will be deleted automatically. Let's say this is my curve, and I select this curve. See, this part is gone. So similarly, while selecting itself, it will ask you like, is this the red path is how you will get that curve? Is this how you want, or is this how you want? So whichever way you want it, you can select that way. So that is make curve, and these are options we'll look into the in the later stages. And these are the dimensioning. If you want to give any dimension, if you want linear, radial, and all. Rabbit dimension is like just you just keep giving dimensions, and whatever you want, you feel like you can give. Here, let's say rabbit dimension. This is my distance, this is my length. See, I want in this direct angle, or I want vertically, or I want horizontally. I can place it however I want. Or if you move it parallelly, you will get it parallelly. So this is parallel length. So this is one length. And also we have another option called as radial dimensions. If you go for radial, if you select this curve and you select this curve, you go here. At last you can add radius or diameter. So this is radial dimension. So this is radial dimensions. And you have angular dimension. You want to give any angles. You go for angles, select your two lines. You get your angle this side or this side. Do you want to place automatically, or do you, let's say you placed one angle. Do you want to give the alternate, the other side? I'll select alternate. I'll select this. If you select this, if you click for alternate dimension, it will give you the alternate dimension. Nothing. So if you want to go for alternate, you can go for alternate. Radial is it? Do you want to get diameter? You can select. This is the diameter. Like so, these are the options. And then you have geometric constraints. So these are the different constraints you have. You have one is coincident. If you want 2 points which are a little offset and all, do you want to join these 2 points to be coincident, this is what you have. Or do you want line also to be coincident? If you have a point you want this to be on some line, you can select that. Tangent is between a straight line and a curve. The curve may be a circle or an arc or a spline or anything. And you have parallel. If you have two lines and you want them to be parallel, this is the constraint that you use for having them parallel. And this is perpendicular option. If you want two lines to be perpendicular to each other, instead of adding an angle and all, if you give perpendicular option, you can edit it, but it will not go even if you miss the angle. Next, horizontal. If you want some line to be horizontal, if you select this, it will become horizontal. Here, this line is horizontal with this thing. So this is horizontal. Yeah, so that is horizontal option. So this is how you can change your view. Yeah, and this similarly this is vertical, and this is if you want two entities to be horizontal in alignment, or 2 points to be in horizontal alignment, you can select 2 or 3 more points that two has to be aligned horizontally, like these horizo- horizontally they will be in the same height. Similarly vertically means that will be in the same vertical line. This is the midpoint. Like if you want something to be in the midpoint of another line, this is the midpoint line. This is collinear. If you want two lines to be collinear, that is what you select here. Since because of this constraint, this cannot be collinear, it is saying it's not possible. Or see, select one line, right? Go for close, geometric constraints, select my line, over second line. Now these two will be in similar line. See, now this line is moved there. That is what used for collinear. Concentric. When you have two circles or two arcs, you want them to be in a similar, have the same center. That is when you use this concentric. And equal length. If you want two lines or arcs to have the same length, that is when you use this equal length. Go for n, and this is like now these two are equal length, same length, and you have equal radius. You have two curves, and if you both of them should have the same radius, that is when you select this equal radius. See, these are the enable constraints. Do you want to be fixed? Do you want to be fully fixed? Like the vertices, everything will be fixed. Fixed means if you have one curves like one end is fixed, then you have this fixed. If you go for fully fixed, these two vertices will be fixed. It will not move. If you go for fix and fix this vertical, now this is fixed. You can move these two. Constant angle, like wherever, whenever you are adding on your angle, if you want to have a constant angle should be same, you will have this constant angle. Constant length. Whenever you're modifying and you don't want to change the length, but you want to change the other changes, do other changes, you have a constant length. Point on string. If you have a different curves and you want this point to be on that curve, that is when you add this point on string. Tangent to the string, and all are similar to the uniform scale. If you want to scale your curve based on two other points, that is when you use this uniform scale. Non-uniform scale is you can update uh, a curve and all by, but not that the scale will not be the same all through the spline. It will be updating. This is slope of the curve. So these are the different geometric constraints that you have, and this makes symmetric. If you want this line or everything to be symmetric, see first, if you want it can be two lines or two curves or two planes or anything, you can have it symmetric through a axis. First object, this is my, let's say this point, I want this line to be symmetric about this, so this is my first point. Secondary object, this is my secondary object. Symmetric line, this is my center line. Now see, this symbol, this arrow symbol is symmetric, and they are symmetric about this. This is how we give constraints and we fix path. This is display. Like if you don't want to display the constraints, it will select the constraints, or if you off it, it will not show you the constraints. If you want to show this blue auto dimensions, it will show, or if you switch off, it will not show any auto dimensions. It will only show the dimensions that you defined. That's it. Or it will not show this auto constraint. Like while drawing itself, you want to, while sketching, while putting a line all itself, you want to add constraints how it is coming, you can have this auto constraint. Like this is my curve. Now if you go for auto constraint, where what all are possible, it will go constraint in that particular way. So similarly, it will see by default it will show what are the options and everything. They are showing what are the constraints that are possible while drawing itself. So that is auto constraint. Auto dimension, like while doing a sketch, it will all automate by default. It will give you the dimensions. Relations. If you want to see how the moving and all because of these constraints, and if you want to see how the sketches will behave, what are the degrees of freedom that you have, that you can check in this relations behavior. And these are other options we can check in the later options. Yes, so these are the basic options that we have in Sketcher, and we will look at them in detail by when we have some examples. You can finish. So when you finish it, you will come to the model interface directly. So this is your sketch. This is the this is all about the Sketcher interface.